Several years ago, in a small, secluded resort town, far away from the hustle and bustle of the city, a terrifying and mysterious event occurred. At first glance, everything appeared to be a usual, tranquil beach vacation, but hidden behind this idyllic facade were dark secrets. One warm summer day, with the sun sparkling on the turquoise sea waves, beachgoers gathered on the shore. Among them was a young couple, Mark and Catherine. They decided to spend a week in this secluded corner to escape the daily hustle and bustle. Everything seemed perfect. As darkness fell upon the resort town and the full moon shone high in the sky, Mark and Catherine decided to take a stroll along the beach, now covered in enigmatic darkness. They were enjoying the sound of the waves and the fresh air when they heard strange noises, resembling rustling and muffled groans. They dismissed it as just the sound of the waves and didn't pay much attention. However, as they approached the cliffs, they witnessed a horrifying sight. Bodies of people lay on the sand, their faces distorted with terror. Scattered around them were the remains of a ship that appeared to be centuries old. Terrified, Mark and Catherine ran back to their villa, only to find the doors slamming shut behind them with a loud bang. The phones were not working, and all communication with the outside world was cut off. They tried to call for help using a radio receiver, but all they heard was endless static. Enduring a sleepless night, they decided to find out what was happening on the beach during the day. However, they couldn't open the doors and spent the day in despair until evening. As twilight approached, the door began to creak open. Escaping their confinement, they discovered bonfires set on the sand, surrounded by dark figures in hoods, resembling priests. They bore witness to a strange ritual involving sacrificial offerings and the summoning of an unholy force. Mark and Catherine realized that they were entangled in something far more sinister than they had ever imagined. They were trapped in this cursed place, held captive by some inexplicable force. With each passing day, their hope of escaping this nightmare faded. They came to understand that, to the mysterious priests, they had become the next sacrifices. For several days, the couple struggled to survive and find a way out of this dreadful situation. Yet, all their efforts were in vain. And eventually, Mark and Catherine became victims of a horrifying ritual. Their fate remained unknown to the outside world, and the resort town once again fell into obscurity, hiding its secrets. Since then, the story of Mark and Catherine became a legend, and those who knew it dared not venture to that beach. The tale was shared only around campfires on other shores, warning brave travelers against the perilous experience on that eerie patch of land. Long ago, on the coast of a distant island, there was a beautiful but abandoned beach. Local residents always feared this place and claimed that the beach was inhabited by the spirit of a deceased fisherman. The legend told of an old fisherman named Samuel who perished here several years ago, and his spirit never found peace. And once a year, during the full moon, the sea claimed one innocent soul. One day, a group of tourists decided to ignore the warnings and local stories and venture to this beach. The group included Josh, Katie, and their friends. They were curious and believed that all these stories about spirits were merely fiction. When they arrived at the beach, horror emanated from its appearance. It looked neglected and abandoned, with various marine debris washed ashore. Nonetheless, the group began to enjoy the breathtaking view of the ocean and decided to stay until sunset. As the sun started to disappear below the horizon, the weather became colder and more uncomfortable. The wind began to whistle, as if warning them that they were not alone on this beach. Suddenly, they heard rustling and sounds resembling quiet weeping. At first, they assumed it was the sea wind playing a cruel trick on them, but the sounds became more distinct and persistent. When they turned around, they saw the dark figure of the old fisherman, Samuel, standing near the water. His face was shrouded in shadows, and his eyes gleamed with mysterious light. The air filled with a sinister energy, and the tourists felt an eerie horror. One of their friends, Josh, attempted to approach the old man, but suddenly a strong wind rose and a fog appeared. Friends were stunned and frightened. When the fog dispersed, both the spirit of the old man and Josh had vanished. They decided to return to their base. But with each step, they felt as if someone was watching them. Their campfire went out, and they found themselves in complete darkness. The wind grew louder and seemed to whisper something dreadful. Eventually, when they reached their base, they discovered that all the doors were locked from the inside. Fear and panic engulfed them, and they started shouting for help. When they finally managed to unlock the doors, they rushed inside. But the feeling that the spirit of Samuel was pursuing them did not leave them. However, none of them ever saw the old fisherman Samuel again, and Josh disappeared without a trace. After this incident, no tourist dared to approach that beach anymore. The legend of Samuel's spirit lived in their hearts, and now they believed that something mysterious and ominous truly inhabited that place.